My beloved child. Archangel Michael says. The air around your life has shifted without warning, and the quiet you feel is not emptiness but the sound of something leaving. A presence that once interfered, distracted, and distorted has faded, and the space it occupied is now clearing with unmistakable force. The stillness at the beginning of this message is deliberate, because destiny moves softly before it moves loudly. You sensed the change before you understood it, and your heart recognized the absence even when your mind searched for explanations. The third party did not leave with noise or conflict, but with a sudden loss of influence that could no longer touch what was meant for you. This disappearance was not coincidence, but a necessary correction unfolding in your favor. What once felt confusing is now rearranging itself into clarity, and what once blocked progress has stepped aside without announcement. Your soul noticed the shift through calm moments and unexpected peace, even if emotions still ripple beneath the surface. Everything happening now is aligned with truth surfacing at the right moment. The opening of this path required removal, and removal has already occurred. The silence you feel is the echo of freedom returning to its rightful place. Type Amen 333 to receive this blessing and anchor the shift that has already begun. My beloved child. Your soulmate has been carrying words that weighed heavily on their spirit, and those words have reached a breaking point. They tried to silence their feelings out of fear, not out of lack, and the absence of interference has loosened their restraint. What they are ready to confess is not meant to harm you, but it will shatter illusions that once protected both of you. They realized that avoidance created distance, and distance created misunderstanding, and misunderstanding delayed union. Now the truth rises, not gently, but honestly, because honesty is the only doorway left. This confession is born from regret transforming into courage. My beloved child. Your soulmate recognizes the cost of silence and the damage of hesitation. They see clearly now how the third party distorted communication and clouded intentions. With that influence gone, their voice returns to its authentic tone. This moment carries emotional weight because truth always does. My beloved child. It is not designed to wound, but it will challenge what you believed and strengthen what is real. Type Amen 444 to receive the strength to hear and hold what is coming. The confession begins with accountability, not excuses. Your soulmate acknowledges moments where they chose comfort over clarity, and delay over decision. This realization also carries deep remorse and a desire to restore balance. They are no longer hiding behind confusion or external influence. They understand that your heart deserved certainty, presence, and consistency. This understanding fuels their resolve to step forward fully. What they admit will reveal how deeply they were affected by fear of loss. Fear kept them quiet while love kept calling. Now love is louder. The disappearance of the third party removed the last barrier to truth. With no distractions left, they confront their own emotions without avoidance. Type Amen 555 to align with honesty and emotional release. You are not meant to feel shocked, but transformed by what you hear. This confession is not an ending, but a recalibration of the bond you share. It marks the beginning of authenticity replacing illusion. Your soulmate admits they felt unworthy at times, unsure if they could meet you at the level you deserved. Instead of rising, they retreated into silence. That silence ends now. They recognize that love requires courage more than perfection. This awareness is reshaping their actions and intentions. They are ready to show consistency through deeds, not promises. Your heart has already been prepared for this moment through growth and resilience. You have learned patience without losing self-respect. This balance empowers you now. Type Amen 777 to receive clarity and emotional grounding. My beloved child. As truth unfolds, your soul will feel both release and validation. You were never imagining the tension or sensing incorrectly. Your intuition was guiding you toward this revelation. The third party's disappearance was not random, but time to protect your emotional well-being. Their role ended once their purpose dissolved. Nothing returns that has been fully released. Your soulmate understands that rebuilding requires transparency and presence. They are stepping into accountability without expectation of immediate forgiveness. This maturity marks their evolution. They are no longer asking themselves whether they should speak. They know silence costs more than vulnerability. Their confession flows from this realization. Type Amen 888 to welcome emotional truth and renewal. My beloved child. This moment marks a turning point that reshapes future interactions. The past no longer dictates the direction of the bond. Conscious choice now leads the way. Your soulmate's words carry sincerity shaped by loss and understanding. They see how close they came to losing something irreplaceable. This awareness fuels their commitment. You are not required to rush or respond immediately. Your power lies in discernment and calm. You hold emotional authority now. The confession does not place pressure on you, but offers truth as a foundation. From this foundation, real connection can grow. Everything else falls away. Type Amen 999 to affirm self-worth and emotional balance. Your journey brought you to this threshold with grace earned through endurance. Nothing was wasted, and nothing delayed without reason. Growth prepared you for clarity. Your soulmate is prepared to walk beside you without interference or confusion. They have released old patterns and external influence. This commitment marks a new phase. This is not about proving love, but living it with consistency. Actions now align with intention. The path forward is visible. My beloved child. One final truth emerges with this confession, and it is liberating rather than painful. You were always chosen, even when silence suggested otherwise. The third party vanished because they never belonged. Type Amen 111 to seal this message with peace. Archangel Michael says protection surrounds your heart as truth settles into place. You are supported through this transition with calm strength and clarity. Everything aligns for emotional honesty and renewed connection. This message reaches you now because timing matters. Your soul was ready to receive without fear. The universe responds accordingly. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says move forward grounded in truth, guided by inner strength, and anchored in self-respect. My beloved child. Archangel Michael says, the first wave of truth has already touched your heart, and now the deeper meaning begins to unfold quietly within you. This phase is not loud, rushed, or chaotic, but steady, intentional, and emotionally revealing. What follows the confession is where transformation truly begins. After the words were released, your soulmate felt both exposed and relieved. Speaking truth lifted a burden they carried longer than they admit, and silence no longer had power over them. This shift changes the energy between you in ways that cannot be reversed. They understand now that love cannot survive in fragments. Partial honesty creates distance, while full truth invites healing. This awareness reshapes how they approach you from this moment forward. Your soul absorbs this realization not as shock, but as confirmation. Deep within, you always knew there was more beneath the surface. Now the hidden has stepped into light. Type Amen 222 to receive emotional grounding and inner calm. The absence of the third party creates space for genuine connection to breathe again. No competing influence remains to distort intention or communication. What stands between you now is only truth and choice. My beloved child. Your soulmate begins to express consistency through presence rather than explanation. They are learning that love is shown through stability, not declarations alone. This lesson marks a permanent change. You notice their energy feels different. There is less hesitation, less emotional withdrawal, and more openness. This is the result of alignment replacing conflict. Your heart is not required to forget the past to move forward. It is asked only to observe growth without fear. Healing does not erase memory, it transforms meaning. Type Amen 333 to welcome emotional renewal. Your soulmate reflects on moments they almost lost you energetically. They recognize how close distance came to becoming permanence. This realization fuels a deeper respect for your presence in their life. They are no longer seeking reassurance from outside sources. Their clarity comes from within now. This internal shift stabilizes their actions. You feel a quiet empowerment rising. Not control, but confidence rooted in self-worth. This strength allows you to listen without losing yourself. The bond begins to feel balanced rather than uncertain. Energy flows without resistance. This balance is earned, not accidental. Type Amen 444 to anchor emotional stability. As days progress, communication carries more intention. Words are chosen carefully, not defensively. Silence no longer carries fear. Your soulmate understands that trust rebuilds through consistency over time. They do not demand instant resolution. They offer patience as proof of growth. You recognize that your boundaries are respected more deeply now. What once felt dismissed is now valued. This change affirms your worth. The connection shifts from emotional tension to emotional presence. You feel seen rather than questioned. This presence heals silently. Type Amen 555 to receive emotional peace. There is no rush to label, define, or finalize anything immediately. The focus remains on alignment and honesty. This pace protects both hearts. Your soulmate no longer fears vulnerability. They understand that openness strengthens rather than weakens connection. This courage reshapes their expression of love. You sense clarity replacing confusion. Where uncertainty once lingered, understanding now settles. This clarity feels calm, not overwhelming. The future is not forced, but gently forming. Each interaction builds trust rather than doubt. This foundation supports lasting connection. Type Amen 666 to affirm emotional clarity. Archangel Michael says the path ahead is guided by truth, patience, and mutual respect. Nothing needed to be chased, because what belongs aligns naturally. You are protected as this bond evolves. This continuation arrives to reassure your spirit. Nothing is being taken from you, only restored. Everything unfolds in divine timing. My beloved child. Archangel Michael says. Now you enter the phase where words slowly step back and actions move forward with calm authority. This is where truth proves itself through behavior, timing, and consistency rather than emotion alone. What unfolds here is steady, intentional, and deeply revealing. Your soulmate understands that promises no longer hold value without visible effort. They begin to show up differently, not dramatically, but reliably. Small actions carry greater weight than grand declarations now. You notice changes in how they prioritize you. Time is no longer uncertain, and attention feels focused rather than divided. This shift confirms that alignment has taken root. The connection no longer feels fragile. It feels supported by intention and awareness. This stability allows your nervous system to rest. Type Amen 101 to receive emotional grounding and peace. Your soulmate becomes more transparent about their inner world. They no longer hide behind busyness or distraction. Presence replaces avoidance. You sense that their energy no longer pulls away when closeness appears. Instead, they lean in with maturity. This leaning in signals readiness. The past influence that once caused confusion has no space to return. Boundaries have been strengthened from within. What is protected stays protected. You begin to trust yourself more than before. Not because everything is perfect, but because clarity has replaced uncertainty. This self-trust becomes your anchor. Type Amen 202 to affirm inner strength. The rhythm of your connection feels natural rather than forced. There is no pressure to perform or prove. Authenticity becomes the shared language. Your soulmate listens with intention now. They absorb your words instead of reacting defensively. This listening builds emotional safety. You feel respected in moments where you once felt misunderstood. Your voice carries weight. This respect transforms the dynamic. Time begins to work in your favor rather than against you. Moments align without struggle. Ease replaces resistance. Type Amen 303 to welcome alignment. You are no longer waiting for validation. You recognize your worth independently of outcome. This independence strengthens connection rather than weakens it. Your soulmate senses this shift within you. They respond with greater consistency and care. Mutual growth becomes visible. This phase teaches both of you that love matures through accountability. Not control, not fear, but conscious choice. This lesson stays. Emotional honesty now flows in both directions. There is no imbalance in vulnerability. This balance creates trust. Type Amen 404 to seal emotional balance. The future begins to feel less uncertain and more intentional. Plans are discussed with clarity rather than hesitation. Vision replaces ambiguity. Your soulmate no longer hesitates to include you in their path. They see you as part of their forward movement. This inclusion brings reassurance. You feel a sense of calm confidence. Not excitement driven by anxiety, but peace rooted in knowing. This peace is powerful. Nothing is rushed. Everything unfolds with purpose. This pacing protects the bond. Type Amen 505 to receive steady progress. Archangel Michael says this stage is confirmation, not temptation. What is forming now is meant to last because it is built on truth. You are guarded as alignment strengthens. This part of the journey teaches patience without passivity. You remain aware, grounded, and self-honoring. This awareness keeps you safe. My beloved child. Archangel Michael says, you are now stepping into a season where uncertainty no longer dominates your thoughts or emotions. What once felt unstable begins to feel grounded through repeated, consistent action. This is the phase where intention turns into lived reality. Your soulmate no longer hesitates when it comes to choosing you openly. Their actions begin to reflect priority, not convenience. This shift is subtle yet unmistakable. You feel the difference in how they show up emotionally. There is steadiness where there was once inconsistency. This steadiness builds safety inside your heart. The connection starts to feel anchored rather than floating. You no longer question where you stand. Clarity replaces emotional guessing. Type Amen 606 to receive emotional security. My beloved child. Your soulmate becomes more present during meaningful moments. Distractions no longer pull them away from connection. Presence becomes their silent promise. They understand that commitment is expressed through reliability. They choose consistency even when it requires effort. This choice marks emotional maturity. You sense a growing confidence in the bond. Not blind trust, but trust shaped by experience. This confidence calms your spirit. The emotional space between you feels balanced. Both hearts contribute equally now. This balance strengthens intimacy. Type Amen 707 to anchor mutual trust. My beloved child. Your boundaries are honored without resistance. What you express is received with respect. This respect deepens emotional connection. Your soulmate no longer feels threatened by depth. They embrace it as necessary for growth. This acceptance transforms communication. My beloved child. You notice that conflicts no longer escalate. They are addressed with understanding rather than avoidance. Resolution becomes possible. This phase teaches you that love does not need to be chaotic to be powerful. Stability carries its own intensity. Peace becomes a sign of alignment. Type Amen 808 to welcome emotional peace. My beloved child. Your soulmate begins to integrate you into future-oriented conversations. Plans feel intentional rather than vague. This forward movement brings reassurance. You no longer feel the need to protect your heart excessively. Trust has been rebuilt through time and action. This trust feels earned. The absence of the third party is now complete. No emotional residue remains. What was removed stays removed. You feel a deeper connection to your intuition. It guides you without fear. This guidance strengthens discernment. Type Amen 909 to affirm inner wisdom. My beloved child. Your soulmate expresses gratitude for your patience and strength. They recognize the growth that brought you both here. This acknowledgement heals old wounds. You sense that the bond has entered a more serious phase. Not heavy, but meaningful. This meaning gives direction. Commitment is no longer spoken as a possibility. It is lived through daily presence. This presence reassures your heart. Nothing feels rushed or forced. Everything unfolds naturally. This natural flow confirms alignment. Type Amen 111 to seal commitment energy. Archangel Michael says what is forming now is protected by truth, maturity, and mutual respect. You are no longer walking in uncertainty. You are standing in emotional certainty. This part of the journey arrives to affirm that your patience was not in vain. What is real stands firm when tested. You are supported as this bond stabilizes. My beloved child. Archangel Michael says, you have now arrived at the stage where the bond no longer focuses on repair, but on building something lasting and meaningful. This phase carries a different energy, one that feels settled, intentional, and quietly powerful. What once required effort now flows with natural understanding. Your soulmate no longer operates from fear of loss, but from certainty of choice. They have learned that love grows stronger when nurtured consistently. This realization anchors their commitment deeply. You feel a new sense of emotional security surrounding you. Not dependent on constant reassurance, but rooted in stability. This security allows your heart to rest fully. The connection begins to integrate naturally into everyday life. Love is no longer isolated to intense moments alone. It becomes part of routine, rhythm, and reality. Type Amen 1212 to receive grounding in long-term alignment. My beloved child. Your soulmate shows responsibility toward the future you may share. Their decisions now consider impact, not impulse. This awareness signals readiness for longevity. You notice how problems are approached with teamwork rather than separation. Challenges no longer feel threatening to the bond. They become moments of strengthening instead. Trust deepens quietly, without force or pressure. It is reinforced through reliability and honesty. This trust feels calm, not fragile. The emotional foundation between you feels solid and balanced. Both hearts contribute equally to growth. This equality nurtures harmony. Type Amen 1313 to affirm mutual commitment. My beloved child. Your soulmate becomes more expressive in ways that feel safe and sincere. Affection is consistent rather than unpredictable. This consistency reassures your spirit. You feel comfortable being fully yourself. There is no need to guard or edit your emotions. Acceptance flows naturally. Plans begin to take clearer shape. Not rushed, but intentional and grounded. The future feels visible. This phase is marked by quiet confidence rather than emotional intensity. Love feels steady, not uncertain. This steadiness signals maturity. Type Amen 1414 to welcome lasting connection. The past no longer holds emotional charge over you. Lessons remain, but pain dissolves. Growth replaces regret. Your soulmate honors what you endured together. They carry gratitude instead of guilt. This gratitude strengthens the bond. You feel aligned not just emotionally, but spiritually. Your values begin to mirror each other more clearly. This alignment supports longevity. What was once fragile now feels resilient. The connection withstands time and pressure. This resilience confirms its depth. Type Amen 1515 to seal spiritual alignment. Your heart recognizes that nothing meaningful was lost along the journey. Everything that fell away made room for truth. This understanding brings peace. The third party no longer exists even as memory. Their influence has fully dissolved. Only authenticity remains. You stand now in a place of clarity, strength, and emotional balance. You are not chasing love. You are choosing it consciously. Archangel Michael says this union energy is protected and guided by truth. Nothing built on honesty will collapse under time. You are supported as destiny settles firmly into place. This message completes the unfolding path. What comes next will be lived, not imagined. Peace, stability, and alignment walk with you now.